Very good evening and welcome to Primetime News on TV1. We are coming to you live and direct from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. For the Newsfirst, where the people come first, I'm Martin Satyanesan.
And I'm Piruni Karunaratna. Here are tonight's top stories. Former President Ranil Wickremesinghe in court after allegedly spending 16 million rupees in public funds on a private overseas visit. Akhila Viraj questioned by bribery commission over Sirikotha renovation. Prevention of Terrorism Act to be repealed in September. No change in government stance on postal strike. Mail distribution continues amid strike.
Case file.
Your top story tonight. Former Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe was produced before the 4th Magistrates Court in Colombo today, following his arrest earlier in the day by the Criminal Investigation Department.
Former President Ranil Wickremesinghe appeared before the Criminal Investigation Department at around 9 a.m. this morning, following a notification issued by the department. Wickremesinghe was taken into custody after being summoned to record a statement in connection with an ongoing investigation into the alleged misuse of government funds. This afternoon, he was brought to the 4th Magistrates Court under heavy security. A group of politicians and supporters was gathered outside the court premises. Appearing on behalf of the Attorney General's Department, Additional Solicitor General Dilip Appiris informed the court that approximately 16 million rupees had been spent on a foreign trip undertaken by Wickremesinghe in 2023. He further revealed that although the visit was initially documented as a private one, investigators later found that the documents had been altered to present it as an official trip. According to Newsfirst correspondents, court proceedings were briefly adjourned for 30 minutes around 5:30 p.m. During this adjournment, a power outage was reported within the court premises. President's counsel Anuja Premaratna appeared for Wickramasinghe, while Additional Solicitor General Dileepa Pieris represented the Attorney General's department. Wickramasinghe was arrested after being summoned to provide a statement regarding the alleged misuse of public funds related to the overseas visit. The investigation focuses on a trip taken on the 22nd September and 23rd September 2023, reportedly involving 10 individuals including the former president. As part of the inquiry, statements have already been recorded from Samaneka Nayaka, the former secretary to the president, and Sandra Pereira, who served as Wickramasinghe's private secretary during his tenure.
Meanwhile, opposition leader Sajith Premadasa has raised serious concerns over the arrest of former President Ranil Wickramasinghe. Posting on his official X account, Premadasa pointed out that a YouTuber had predicted the former president's arrest even before it took place, a detail he described as highly suspicious and one that, in his view, cannot be dismissed as a mere coincidence. He questioned whether the arrest had been planned. The opposition leader went on to note that if such a claim holds true, it would be sad, as it suggests that something as sacred as law and order are being reduced to cheap theatrics. Meanwhile, former Minister of Education Akhila Viraj Karyavasam was summoned today before the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption. He was called in to provide a statement. The statement was recorded in connection with an investigation into the use of employees from the State Engineering Corporation of Sri Lanka for renovation activities at the United National Party headquarters, Sirikota, during the 2019-2020 period. With that, let's move on to more local news. Minister of Public Security Ananda Vijaypala emphasized in Parliament today that the government will not hesitate to bring anyone who has committed a wrongdoing before the law, regardless of their status or position.
අපි මේ වෙනකොට නීති ආධිපත්‍ය තහවුරු කරමින් ඉන්නවා. විදවැටුණු නීති ආධිපත්‍ය.
We are currently reaffirming the rule of law in the country. We are restoring the broken foundations of justice and fairness in society. As you are aware, the law is now being implemented equally without consideration of rank or status. It does not matter whether the individual is the Inspector General of Police, a Deputy Inspector General, a Member of Parliament, a Minister or a former President. Such titles are irrelevant. If someone has committed an offence, this government will not hesitate to bring them before the law. The enforcement of the law is not dependent on social hierarchy. It is applied equally to all. That is why, especially in the event of a crime, justice must be served to the victims and the law must be enforced against the perpetrators. This is a core principle of the National People's Power Movement. As you know, we have launched large-scale investigations into bribery, corruption and fraud. Some of these investigations had been suppressed, hidden or files closed without delivering justice to the victims. We give the country a clear assurance. Every victim will receive justice. Take the assassination of Lasantha Wickramatunge in 2009. That case was buried and evidence was being destroyed. We have now reopened that investigation. The investigation into the assault of journalist Keith Noya has been completed, not just initiated, but fully completed, and the file has been handed over to the Attorney General. Likewise, the case of the abduction or disappearance of journalist Prageet Egnaligoda is currently being heard before a special 3-judge bench. Although the suspects were initially released on bail, one brigadier has now been remanded again on charges of attempting to intimidate witnesses. The investigations into the Easter Sunday attacks are also progressing successfully. There is no reason for anyone to doubt that. We have directed that investigation along the correct path as the investigations continue. We have already submitted detailed reports on the progress made to the court.
ඉදිරියේ සිද්ධ වෙනවා වගේම මේ වෙනකොට අපි ලබාගත්ත මේ විමර්ශනයේ ලබාගත්ත ප්‍රගතිය අධිකරණයට කරුණු සහිතව වාර්තා කරලා තියෙනවා.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism Vijitha Herath says that steps have been taken to issue the Gazette notification to repeal the Prevention of Terrorism Act in early September. He made this remark during the parliamentary debate on the motion to extend the timeline related to the reconciliation process.
The mistakes made by J.R. Jayawardena, Premadasa, Vijay Tunga, Chandrika, Mahinda Rajapaksa and Gotabaya, we believe you will not repeat them. But tell us, what steps are you taking to resolve the issues faced by the people in the north and east of this country? The government must focus on the political problems of the Tamil people. There are already several good recommendations. Take the LLRC Commission report. For example, please begin implementing it. I ask for 3 things today. Hold the provincial council elections, restart the stalled constitutional reform process, begin implementing the LLRC recommendations. Even if a final decision hasn't been reached yet, taking these 3 steps would be a powerful start. If you act on this, I believe you will gain credibility. No matter who comes to power, we need a guarantee that the Prevention of Terrorism Act will not be used against the Tamil people. For over 70 years, actions have been taken against us. What's wrong with us asking to be accepted as a part of Sri Lanka? Why is it so hard for you to give a promise about that? Only then can the Tamil people have true freedom. What's wrong with finding a solution for the Tamil people's issues? Why is it wrong to request that this be confirmed through the constitution? The national issue in our country was never resolved through the provincial council system. We have been very clear about that. This mechanism cannot solve the national issue. Over the years, this has been proven practically. Still, since it is part of the constitution, we will hold the provincial council elections. However, there's a legal obstacle. The report of the Delimitation Commission has not been passed in Parliament. So new laws and proposals must be brought through Parliament to clear the legal path. This isn't something that can be done immediately, but we are committed to making it happen, and we will hold the election in line with the constitution. We also have a 5-year plan for building national unity, which has been approved by the cabinet. We are moving forward step by step according to this plan. On the accountability process, we are strengthening it through domestic mechanisms. No need for foreign intervention because our domestic framework is now strong. The judiciary is now independent, and we have created a credible mechanism that the international community can trust. On the Prevention of Terrorism Act, we are not taking steps just because the UN or the UN Human Rights Council asks us to. Our policy document clearly states that we will repeal the PTA. Since coming to power, we have already appointed a special committee led by President's Counsel Ruwanthi Arasakularatne. That committee has met several times, proposed necessary amendments, and is expected to finalize the process by the end of this month. The draft bill to repeal the PTA will be gazetted in early September. On the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, we first proposed this as a political movement on the 26th May 2009, long before Navi Pillai or the Geneva Human Rights Council brought it up. But the government at that time didn't act. We are now moving forward with legal steps required to implement the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. On other mechanisms, we are also strengthening the Office on Missing Persons and the Office for Reparations. The process of investigating disappearances is being further empowered.
Newsfirst with the people. Newsfirst, main sponsor.
A trusted place for your fixed deposits. Valuable FD, the symbol of stability. A trusted place for your fixed deposits. Valuable FD, 10.25% for 15 months, 11% for 24 months. Valuable FD, the symbol of stability.
Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa emphasized that necessary action will be taken against individuals obstructing postal workers from reporting for duty. The minister stated that there has been no change in the government's position regarding the ongoing strike. According to the Department of Posts, the strike, organized by several postal trade unions, has already resulted in an estimated loss of between 100 million and 120 million rupees.
A nationwide strike was launched by postal workers, citing 19 core issues including concerns over overtime allowances and the use of fingerprint scanners to record attendance. The strike is backed by 23 trade unions including the United Postal Workers Union, Sri Lanka Nidahas Postal and Telecommunication Workers Union, United Postal and Telecommunication Services Union, Sri Lanka Nidahas Postal Services Union and the Sri Lanka Postal Workers Front. At approximately 9 a.m, the unions began a continuous satyagraha in front of the Central Mail Exchange in Colombo. Duminda Nagamo, Organizing Secretary of the Centre for Workers' Struggles, Dhammika Munasinghe and Joseph Starling, General Secretary of the Ceylon Teachers Union, also joined joined the protest in solidarity.
This government includes individuals like Lal Kanta, Vasantha Samarasinghe and Mahinda Jayasinghe, former trade union leaders. They have a responsibility to engage with the working class and resolve the issues through dialogue.
During the protest, authorities attempted to relocate mail bags stored at the Central Mail Exchange to another location under police protection, prompting strong opposition from the striking postal workers. Due to the intervention of the striking workers, the attempt to move the mail bags was halted. Although the protest was initially declared as continuous, it concluded around 12 noon.
Why are we being denied a discussion? Is the situation that fragile? These mine operations won't break this strike. We are committed to continuing this indefinite strike.
Later in the afternoon, riot control police arrived at the Central Mail Exchange. According to Deputy Postmaster General Chamisha De Silva, several mail bags that had been prepared for dispatch before the strike were delivered to relevant post officers using a Ministry of Defence bus under police protection and with the help of officers who reported to duty. Across the country, 169 out of 653 post offices remained open today, along with 3,211 sub-post offices. However, the strike caused significant disruptions for the public.
දඩකොලයක් තියෙන මහත්තයා ගෙවා ගන්න බැරුව අපි රස්තිය අදිනවා දැන්. බලන්න අපි දැන් උසාවි ගානේ යන්න උනා. දුප්පත් අපි අසරණ මිනිස්සු තමයි තැලෙන්නේ පොඩින්නේ මේ මිනිස්සු කරන වැඩවල. බලන්නකො දැන් අතර දින පහක් වෙනවා. විශ්ලේෂ කරන අපිට හතේ මුද්‍රයක් ගන්න දෙයක් නැහැ.
Subject Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa reiterated the government's stance.
We cannot extend over time any further. That's the limit. The fingerprint system is mandatory and must be implemented without exception. By tomorrow, several more fingerprint scanners will be installed at the Central Mail Exchange. Today, we have already brought in the letters and parcels that were temporarily held at the airport to the Central Mail Exchange. Similarly, mail distribution was carried out yesterday in areas including Kurunagala and Ratnapura. Even today, we are continuing operations with the assistance of other government institutions. If anyone attempts to obstruct this process, we will act according to the law. We cannot allow this system to be sabotaged. This entire situation is clearly politically motivated disruption. Just like how opposition parties previously worked together to gain control of local councils, now they are going house to house overnight, trying to build an anti-government force. These same political parties, along with the affiliated trade unions, are now orchestrating this postal strike. This is an act of sabotage. The people of this country support the government. They are calling for the implementation of the fingerprint system and are against the unlimited extension of overtime. We are acting in line with the will of the people. Therefore, we will bring this postal strike to an end. We will restore the postal service and take it to a better place. We can move forward with employees who are willing to work honestly and take responsibility for the salaries they receive.
A man was killed this morning in a shootout with Special Task Force officers in Suryaba. According to the police, he has been identified as the shooter involved in the recent Koskoda murder.
A group of Police Special Task Force and Gaul Akmimana Crime Division officers came under attack in Vavegamal
Suryaba this morning when an organised criminal threw a grenade and opened fire. Kosala Dilhara, a resident of Beruwala, was admitted to the Suryaba Regional Hospital where he later died. A police special task force officer was also injured and admitted to the same hospital. Police added that the deceased was the shooter involved in the recent murder of the son of a businessman who ran a turtle conservation centre in Koskoda, Duvamodara. Hambantota magistrate Oshada Migara Maharachi visited the scene to inspect it. Our Newsfirst correspondents have reported that the body of the deceased has been placed at the Suryaba Regional Hospital.
Police say that the individual who was shot dead near the Thunbodia on the Horana-Panadura main road last evening was a close associate of organised criminal Makhandure Madush. According to the police, the victim had previously served as an officer at the Kaluthara prison but was suspended from duty after leaving the country without prior notice.
At about 6 p.m. yesterday, two individuals on a motorcycle opened fire using T-56 assault rifle at a man travelling from Horana to Bandaragama in a car. Police say that 30 empty bullet casings were recovered from the scene. The victim was identified as 57-year-old Kodagoda Arachige Lalit Kumar Kodagoda, a resident of Pinwala, Panadura South. According to police, he was a known organised criminal who had been arrested in Dubai in 2019 by Criminal Investigation Department officers and later brought back to Sri Lanka.
A policy dialogue on youth migration from Sri Lanka was organised by the University of Colombo today.
The proposed policy dialogue intends to bring together key stakeholders to reflect on findings from a recent study carried out by a team from the University of Colombo that examined how Sri Lanka's ongoing economic crisis combined with socio-economic and behavioural factors is influencing youth migration intentions among those aged 15 to 34. The event aims to provide a space for knowledge sharing, policy reflection and collaborative action. Speaking at the event, Emeritus Professor K.A.P. Siddhisena emphasized on critical youth out-migration issues in Sri Lanka and related opportunities.
While migration can offer higher wages and new prospects, many young Sri Lankan experience brain waste, where their skills are underutilized in low-skill sectors such as caregiving, hospitality or manual labor. These patterns reveal deep structured mismatches in both the labour market and migration governance framework. We know that there are so many impacts of this out-migration, like shrinking of our labour force, our productivity. So we have, discuss about those matters as well. And we can't stop them from out-migrating, going out, our youth, because that is a human right. So we have a free movement. But we have to think about other kind of remedies and what kind of other policy matters we have to consider about this, very conspicuous pattern of most young people, 128,000 last 2023 left according to the SLBF records.
The commemorative ceremony marking the 180th anniversary of the Russian Geographical Society was held in Colombo today.
The Centre of the Russian Geographical Society in Sri Lanka celebrated RGS's 180th anniversary at the Colombo Public Library with the presence of Anton Jakudi, Deputy Minister of Environment, and Raikali Baltazar, Mayor of Colombo, as chief guests. The special occasion featured the planting of 180 plants of various kinds at the Colombo Public Library premises, which benefits the library too.
Today's tree planting is not only symbolic of growth and renewal and celebrating the 180th anniversary of the Russian Geographical Society, but also enriches in Colombo Public Library premises, making a greener, more welcoming space for learning, reflection and fellowship. Here in Sri Lanka, the presence of the Center of the Russian Geographical Society reflects our commitment to strengthening cultural and scientific ties, supporting education, and encouraging collaboration in areas such as environmental protection and sustainable development.
The planting of 180 trees today is a gesture that speaks volumes. It symbolizes growth, renewal, and our shared responsibility in future generations. We are grateful to the Colombo Public Library for hosting this initiative, which beautifully aligns with our mutual commitment to education, sustainability, and community enrichment.
The Russian Geographical Society, established in 1845, is a learned society dedicated to geographical research and exploration with a focus on Russia and its surrounding territories.
The inauguration ceremony of the 22nd edition of the Profood Pro-Pack AGBIS 2025 took place today.
The 22nd edition of Profood Pro-Pack AGBIS 2025 was inaugurated in Colombo, highlighting the growth of Sri Lanka's food and packaging industries. Over 3 days, the exhibition will unveil cutting-edge innovations in processed food, packaging and agriculture, offering a glimpse into the future of these dynamic sectors.
So from a government perspective, I want to convey to the industry that we are a government which has a policy for value-added industries. We are a government who believes in manufacturing, who believes that Sri Lanka should play a pivotal role in the global value chain. So this particular industry becomes one of our top priorities, not only from the perspective of food security of the country, but also to position Sri Lanka in the global value chains. So therefore, the policy consistency has to be on top of our agenda, which it has not been. We have been discussing over the last 6-7 months to see certain policies are inconsistent. So therefore, the agriculture ministry, the modernization of agriculture and productivity improvement and improving the agriculture value chain is also part of this entire journey and the policy creation.
Industry leaders, stakeholders and guests gathered to witness the event, reflecting a shared vision for growth, collaboration and advancement in the field.
How would you feel growing up without the taste of clean water or the joy of a proper education? Today, a library and a new clean water project at the Thakshila Primary School in Mamunagama, Anamadua in the Putlam district were officially handed over to the students. This initiative was launched as part of the Gum at the program, continuing its mission to uplift rural communities across Sri Lanka. In the quiet village of Mamunagama, Anamadua, nestled in the Putlam district, stands the Thakshila Primary School, a place of learning for around 75 children, despite facing numerous challenges. Among the most pressing were the lack of access to clean drinking water and the absence of a proper library, two basic needs that deeply affected the students' daily lives and learning experience. Responding to the heartfelt request from the school's principal, Gammatha, with the generous support of Next Manufacturing Private Limited, stepped in to make a difference. Today, these children were handed the keys to a newly built library and a clean water supply system, a gift of knowledge and nourishment. The project also included the donation of furniture and books, transforming the space into a true sanctuary for learning. The ceremonial handover was graced by Venerable Dulapitiye Sumedananda Thero of the Sri Sudharmarama Temple, David Ray, Director Manufacturing, Next Manufacturing Private Limited, Bharata Amarasinghe, General Manager, Next Manufacturing, Janaka Adhikari, HR Manager, Next Manufacturing, R.M. Prasad Ratnayaka, Zonal Director of Education, Putlam, Rinaz Mohammed, Director of English News at Newsfirst, Inspector Aloka Bandara, Anamadua Police, Engineer Pramesh Hevavitharana, Putlam Regional Engineering Office, and Sujit Priyantha, Assistant Planning Director of the Anamadua Divisional Secretariat, along with teachers, parents, and a large gathering of community members.
Today we opened the library at the primary school to help children develop the habit of reading from a young age and to bridge the gaps caused by the lack of physical supplies. Support like this cannot be measured only in terms of money, and I truly believe that through this program the children of this area will have the opportunity to gain wisdom for the future and grow into leaders.
It is with a heartfelt thanks that we really appreciate the work that Gamada do in actually taking something from vision to reality to delivering the finished product, and then moving on to the two projects that we are so proud to come and open for the school today. Starting with the opening of a library, and a sign of being able to offer the young children a seat of learning, an opportunity to expand their minds, and then the water project. We in the Western world we open up a tap, and we have access to clean, fresh drinking water, free from bacteria, free from pesticides, and free from other harmful chemicals. That luxury is not available in a lot of the rural and remote areas here in Sri Lanka. So for us to be able to offer clean, fresh drinking water in the project that we've completed with Gamada today, it fills me personally with an immense amount of pride and satisfaction that not just for today, for the children of the school, but for many, many generations to come, that they'll be able to come and both enjoy clean, fresh drinking water and a tremendous seat of learning.
Building a library means building an entire country, an entire nation, and an entire generation. With this, we are creating a country that will nurture brilliant minds. This place will hold memories that will last for centuries. If we want to build a modernized and developed country, and if we truly have that intention, then we must do things like this. Bring children together, give them opportunities, and that will give rise to the leaders of tomorrow.
එතකොට වෙන්නේ නායකයෝ බිහි වෙනවා.
ගම්මැද්ද කණ්ඩායම හොයාගෙන ගිහිල්ලා
I went and asked for help from the Gamada team, and the way they resolve issues and identify the real problem is truly admirable. I told them my school needed help and they analyzed the issue scientifically. They don't waste money unnecessarily. What I see is that they don't give fancy answers. If they help someone, they make sure it's something that will last for at least 100 years. Today I saw with my own eyes that they have given a real and lasting solution to my school.
In parallel, a nutrition pack distribution program was also held for expectant mothers in the area, extending the impact of the day beyond the classroom.
A court in Thailand has dismissed a high-profile case against the country's former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra over allegations he violated the country's strict laws on royal defamation.
A Bangkok court has acquitted controversial billionaire and former Thai Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, who was accused of insulting the monarchy. The charge related to an interview he gave to South Korean newspaper 10 years ago. He would have faced up to 15 years in jail if convicted. Thailand's lèse majesty law forbids insulting its monarchy, but critics say it is often used to target activists and political opponents. The verdict came as Thaksin's daughter suspended Prime Minister Petontang faces a constitutional court decision on whether or not she should be removed from office. These cases pose a threat to the Shinawatra clan, which has been a dominant force in Thai politics for decades. The charge against Thaksin was originally filed under the then military government in 2016 when he was in exile and reactivated last year after his return to Thailand.
California lawmakers vaulted the Golden State to the forefront of a nationwide redistricting fight when they authorized a November 4th special election to redraw congressional districts that benefit the Democrats.
After hours of contentious debate, which included members of both parties accusing the other of trying to destroy democracy, California lawmakers passed a proposed constitutional amendment to adopt new maps favoring Democrats, a bill with the maps themselves, and another bill to call a special election for voters to decide whether to adopt the maps. All three measures passed along party lines, with Democrats voting in support and Republicans voting against. Efforts to stall the bills by Republican lawmakers who hold less than 1/4 of the seats in the legislature quickly failed. Governor Gavin Newsom signed the bills and an official proclamation for the November special election shortly after lawmakers passed the legislation. Newsom announced the idea of new maps last month in response to moves by Republicans in Texas to redraw their maps to give their party an advantage in the 2026 midterm elections. The California maps were designed to flip 5 seats from Republican to Democrat, a tactic known as gerrymandering. The California maps accomplished this by concentrating more Republican voters into a small number of districts, thus reducing their numbers in other districts seen as winnable by Democrats.
A look back at your local news. AOG Campus held its annual convocation in Colombo yesterday.
The AOG Campus Convocation 2025 was held in grand style at the Bandaranaike Memorial International Conference Hall in Colombo, marking a significant milestone in the academic journey of hundreds of graduates. The event brought together students, faculty, families and distinguished guests to celebrate the achievements of the graduating class across various disciplines. Degrees and diplomas were conferred to students across a number of fields. Special awards were presented to students who excelled in academics.
2025 convocation goes out to Rashmika Desera. Miss Rashmika Desera.
From that, we bring to a close this edition of Primetime News on TV1.
Thank you for joining us. Good night.